podium, we could talk about stuff.
John, not today.
He's at a loss for words. Oh,
Lights
my.
on.
All right, we're
All
live.
right. I think we're ready to go.
Morning, Dave.
Let's call this meeting of the City of Washington Board of Public Works to order Tuesday, July 27, 7:30 a.m. And I'll talk slowly until we're ready to do roll call. Roll call,
Okay.
please.
John Vietmeyer.
Here.
Mike Ratatek.
Here.
Brad Mitchell. Steve Richardson. Steve Struberg.
Here.
Steve Sullentrup. Mark Wessels.
Here.
Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball. Okay, thanks everyone for coming.
Yeah.
If you've all had a chance to look at the minutes, do we have any comments, changes, suggestions, a motion to approve?
I move.
So moved. Seconded?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved, thank you very much. Moving right along. Priority, nothing? You said you got other, you didn't?
Got
have
other,
any
nothing priority, yeah.
All right. And we have nothing listed for wastewater. Anything going on?
Wastewater side, everything is doing pretty good. Treatment plant's running good. We still do have one influent pump out down at the plant. Thanks to the economy and the way things have rolled, we're still waiting for parts to come in from Sweden for the pump. So,
It is what it is.
yeah, we're in a holding pattern. So,
Is it, it's not hampering the operation?
not right now. Now, if we was to have a torrential downpour with only 3 pumps, it could create an issue, but we knock on wood and hope it doesn't happen.
Okay,
We did get a supplier came in, a salesman for a company came in, and they had, it's called Cardinal Pump. The pump's not a Cardinal pump, it's a different kind of pump, but they sell it. And their claim is that it is as good as a flight pump, and it costs half as much. So I'm looking at probably purchasing one of these pumps and putting it in place and testing it out. It won't be until next year, next budget year. I do have money budgeted for next year for pumps down there. So it would be, I think it would be a good idea, if nothing else, just to buy one and try it out and see if it actually is as good as a flight pump. Our flight pumps, this is the first pump that we've had go out since the plant was built and put online in 2009, so that's what, 11 years. This pump has gone out, it lasted 11 years, with nothing done to it, literally nothing done to it. So flight pumps are tough pumps. If there's another manufacturer out there that can make one as tough as that, I'm all for it. But, most of our other pumps that we get, not downplaying anybody's pumps by no means, but we usually get about 2 years out of them before we have to pull them and have them rebuilt. Just because they're not as tough. But that being said, I'm open to try one and see what happens. So I think would only be the right thing to do as far as financially if they're as good as flight pumps and they're half the price, then it makes sense financially to do that. But
yeah.
we have to try one and see. So anyway, that's for down the road. But
Okay,
and I'll keep you guys informed on that as time goes on. So we'll see
Okay.
how that goes.
all right, very good. Moving on to water then. First things first, we gotta spend some money, I suppose, and pay Cochrane.
Yes.
We have a bill for $1,523.50 on our contract, which will leave us a balance of $39,990.25. Any questions on the bill?
Move it.
Motion to?
Second.
Motion and seconded, all right. All in favor of moving this on? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, send it on to council. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the tanks.
Yes.
And David's here?
And David is here, yes.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. I think last month we were here kind of giving you an update on the tank painting projects, and then we were given approval to go out to bid, was kind of the conclusion of last month's meeting. So hopefully in your packet today you have a recommendation letter from us and then also a bid tab. We did hold a bid opening for the project on July 14th. I was pretty happy. We actually got 8 bids on the project. That's always what we're looking to see, is lots of bids. You'll see in our letter we are recommending award to the low bidder, which is Worldwide Industries. Cochrane has no direct experience with these guys. We did do quite a bit of reference checking on them. They're out of the Northeast. I believe they're out of Pennsylvania. They did provide some experience on projects in Missouri and other surrounding states in the Midwest. Our tank inspector had some experience with them, and then also the Tnemec rep who is selling the paint had some experience with them. So between all of that, we were comfortable recommending award to these guys. You'll see they're significantly under the engineer's estimate, which I believe was also the budget for the project. One recommendation we do have, which is stated in the letter, is that since we do not have any direct experience with these guys, that we do kind of ramp up our inspection. And I believe we can keep that inspection within the budgeted amount for the project, but I do anticipate that we'll use up all of the money for inspection that was included in our proposal. With other painters, we may have been able to provide some savings there, but I think at least on the first tank we're going to do, which is Clay Street, we would recommend pretty heavy inspection. So again, the plan would be that we would do the Clay Street work this fall, probably starting about September 1st, and then we would get that job done, pause the project, and then resume work in the spring of 2022 and do the work at the Enduro tank. I think that's all I had. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to address them, but again, our recommendation is award to Worldwide Industries in the amount of $593,500.
So you need a motion on that?
Well, yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just curious, where do we stand in your estimates of this project? Are we close to what you guys thought we might be spending to paint these tanks?
If you look at the bid tabulation sheet, you'll see the very first column in there is the engineer's cost estimate.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
We had, that may be easier than me trying to explain.
Yeah, no, that's what I
We
was
had
looking for.
823,000. You'll see that about lands right in the middle of the bids we got. So this Worldwide Industry is a little bit more than $200,000 under
Yeah.
what I believe Kevin put in the budget.
David, you said
Yes.
though that the, not being familiar with these folks, it's gonna require heavier inspection time. Is that, I assume that's gonna eat up some of that lower estimate?
A very small portion.
Yeah.
Did McGuire paint our other tank? Crestview?
Yes.
They did?
Yes.
Looking at their bid, it almost looks like they didn't want to come back to town, right?
And that's probably very close to say that'd probably be pretty accurate in a sense, with everything that happened on that tower.
They said, we're getting out of here.
What we typically see is these bids reflect the workload and backlog that these companies have built up. So the companies still aggressively looking for work are more competitive on their bids, and companies who have a pretty good backlog of work built up are less aggressive and provide higher pricing.
Right.
I think that's what we're seeing there.
Yeah.
The schedule that you set for one in the fall and one in the spring, do they agree to that?
Yes.
Any other questions, comments?
Do we need an approval motion?
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll take a motion.
So move.
Moved
Second.
and seconded. All in favor to move this on? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let's move this on.
Thank you.
And I'll be heavily involved in all this too, so,
Get this locked up.
yeah,
All right, thank you very much.
the inspections and all.
Okay, Meadow Lake Farms, did we turn the water on for them yet?
We have the water on at Meadow Lake Farms.
Really?
We have the water on. We have their grass area where we had to dig reseeded and strawed. We have Highway 100 reseeded and strawed on the south side. We are today working on the swell for the highway that we had to tear out to go through. That'll be completed today. We'll keep on working on that. By the end of the week, we'll have that side straightened up, seeded and strawed. And the only thing we'll have left then is to reform the swell coming along Pottery Road so that the water doesn't go out onto the road where we had to put the water line. So we'll do some dressing up there, and then we will be done until the new development starts moving forward and they decide the grade for the cut on Old Pottery Road to get the water line into the development like we have to do yet. So that'll be down the road. So yeah, we're doing good. We've had one, guess I could say complaint, concern, whatever, out there. I know I personally talked to several people out there. They are excited because they want to see if Washington's water is better than the district water because all they've been drinking out of is bottled water because it was so bad out there.
Oh, boy.
That's exactly what they told me. So we'll see what comes out of that. Of course, I think our water's better than theirs anyway, but that's just a competitive thing. So that's just friendly competition with them.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. But yeah, everything went real well. Granted, it took us longer than anticipated with everything we ran into, but the connection itself, this is the first time that we've had an extension put in, whether it was us or a developer, that we actually got a negative sample, which is a good sample, the first time.
Oh, wow,
So
yeah.
we did I know there was a concern about a groundhog in a piece of pipe, but I don't think Mr. Groundhog did any damage, obviously, so, but anyway, so.
Yes, John?
Yeah, so real quick on that, that was a coordination between really 4 departments. I know Water Department did the bulk, water and wastewater did the bulk of all the work, but the Street Department did fix the roadway, Pottery Road. That's in the Special Road District. The city had to get an agreement with the Special Road District to take over maintenance of that road, so engineering administration worked on that and all permitting. So that was a big project. I mean, that's been on plans to get over there since the late 60s is what I saw. And, we thought there was a sleeve underneath there. There was not a sleeve underneath the roadway, so we had to do all that boring work. Kevin did all that for you. So that's a huge deal. Water on the south side, that location's a really, really big deal for the city in the future. So I think, and I would just resonate with what Kevin said. Meadow Lake themselves, I haven't heard anything of credence, to any concerns with water going on that side. So I was able to work through it with that one resident. The city does post water quality confidence report on the city's website every year. I know Beverly's working on that right now for 2020. But so anyway, if there's, and actually it's interesting enough that report actually goes up against PWSD #1, so you can see how we compare with our testing versus them. So if there's any concerns with Meadow Lake, I just forward them that report and we move on live. So anyway, I just hats off to the water department. I mean, that's a big project.
Yeah, the pressures, they're maintaining 61 PSI out there, which,
Yep. There's that, and I know this fall, I know Kevin's gonna look, there's some hydrants and things that need some maintenance work on. A couple of them are kind of below grades. They're gonna elevate those hydrants, get them all painted up, things that just need to be done. So that'll all get taken care of as time allows, but, what we at, week now, Kevin? Yeah, week tomorrow, I guess,
yeah.
is when they've been hooked up.
Kevin, speaking of water, and I don't do social media at all, but my wife was reading something on Facebook a week ago or so about, and I don't know which side it was, but somebody was moving to Washington and wanted to know what the water was like. We got slammed.
Yeah, we're always going to
Yeah,
get
really.
slammed.
I mean,
Yeah.
Social media.
It was social media, you're right, and, but,
Go to Eureka.
yeah, but, I mean, the people that were commenting, it was all negative.
On the taste.
What you're gonna,
On the taste.
Yeah.
It could have been, I grew up in Washington, it was one of those sites, but somebody had, and like I said, my wife was reading it to me, I don't do that kind of stuff, but she said,
I would just,
Still fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I could have answered them, but I don't know how to do that stuff.
that if the city was to respond back to every single
I
Facebook
agree.
post,
Well,
we'd be in a little world of hurt. So
Well,
I would just say that if somebody does have a valid complaint or concern, they could actually formally reach out to the water department or city hall,
That was my
and we'll
question.
definitely look
Gotten
into that.
complaints as far as the water recently?
No.
Oh, that's just it. The people that commented, the people that want to say something negative.
Well, when the chlorine came in versus.
Yeah, I know, and then
Well,
that was
that's-
most of the knock too, that, you know, that.
You know, there's a lot. We also see some things. I mean, and I don't know the specifics of the situation, but we've gotten complaints about other services, and there aren't even residents of Washington. They don't understand that just because you have a Washington address doesn't mean you don't live in town. We provide services. So again,
It could be.
to know what the situation is, I can't even respond to that.
Well, like I said, my wife just pointed it out to me, and
Yeah.
And I can say, I'll say it right now, if anybody does have a problem with the
call us.
taste and the smell and the flavor of water, they can put in a carbon charcoal filter, whole house filtering system, which isn't that expensive, couple $100. That takes care of it.
yeah, sure.
I mean, it's the disinfection is not going away.
Nope.
It will never go away on my watch or the next guy's watch or the next guy's watch.
Well, it can't.
It is something that the EPA deems the only safe drinking water is disinfected water. The only good way to disinfect the city of Washington is with chlorine. You can't do it any other way. So we have no choice. So it is what it is. We don't add fluoride. We don't have to lime soften. We don't have to do a lot of the other things that
Fluoride
other
doesn't
places
have
do, you know, that causes problems. But it causes problems in cast iron lines. So, but anyway, so you know, I drink a glass of water every morning when I get up, right out of my faucet.
I have no problem with it either.
I
just brought it up because, like I said.
But yeah, so
Saying Meadow Lake has 61 PSI. I got
81, 81. They have 81. We maintain 81 PSI at the pump station, so the top house has 81. As you go down the hill, it's going to increase a little bit due to elevation. Yeah, they got the guy at the top of the hill that has a swimming pool on the side came out and talked to us. I remember the houses by swimming pools. He said that he didn't even notice a difference when we transitioned over. So perfect. I mean that's
He's the one you worry about.
That's good.
so.
But
Anyway,
I would just
Yeah,
summarize.
Well,
If you do hear those things, I mean, I would just encourage somebody to give us a call. I mean, that's the only way we can follow up with official concerns and complaints is to do it that way.
Some people do not drink tap water no matter where they're at.
Yeah, who knows?
You go to Italy, they don't drink it at all.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
mean,
got
people just
gallons.
constantly, you want a bottle or do you want, tap water? And when I'm in town, I say, of course I'll have tap water. I'm proud of our water.
Yeah. Good.
I get a reaction once in a
no
while.
problem.
If you go to Bacardi's
All right.
to get water in there, it's horrible. Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, on to other business.
Okay, this kind of falls down off of Meadow Lake Farm subdivision. Since we put Meadow Lake on, we did a fire flow test out there. We was able to get 1,250 gallons a minute. That's the max the station will pump out. It's not going to pump anymore. I guess we put a bigger pump in, but then you risk on doing other damage. But what we did find when we did this test was that we have a 5-pump system up there. We have what they call a jockey pump, which maintains the pressure, just runs all the time, maintaining the pressure. And then we have, that's number 1. We have pump number 2, 3, and 4 that then increase when demand increases. They all kick on at certain times. And then we have what we call the fire pump. I would prefer to call that a high flow pump, but we call it a fire pump. So what we found was when we did the test, the max we could get out of all 3 of those pumps was 300 gallons a minute. And then the high flow pump had to kick on. The high flow pump is what they call, it's got a soft start, but it starts softly, but then it ramps up to 100%. So we go from 300 gallons a minute to trying to send 1,250 gallons a minute down the line. And what it's creating is a bunch of cavitation in the station because it's trying to draw more out at a quicker time than what it can bring in through the piping, and it causes the pressure to drop increasingly low while it's trying to bring all that up. So what I would like to do is to put a VFD on that high flow pump, a variable frequency drive, which we can then tune to start ramping up at a slower pace as that 300 gallons hits 400 gallons, 500, and let it ramp up which will create a less of a draw on the suction side, but yet still get the flow out there, and then ramp up to max speed if there was a fire out there. What I'm a little concerned about as time goes on and as all the irrigation systems start kicking on, there's a chance that we could need more than 300 gallons a minute, and then we'd have that high-speed pump kicking on, causing all kinds of problems, and then trying to kick back off. So I'm looking at moving forward with that. I have got one quote from EFI, the company that actually built the building and knows the design of it and everything, and that quote came in at $16,915.18, and that's to put everything in. That's the VFD, wiring, programming, the whole thing. I have another company that's also quoting this. So my point is this will not be any higher than $16,915 to do. The reason why I'm bringing it to you now is everything that we purchase now in the industry has anywhere from an 8 to 10 to 12 to 16-week delay on it. I could wait and try to roll this into next year's budget and then have a 8 to 10 to 12 to 16-week delay on it. This is something that I think we need to address sooner than later, because as that pump kicks on and off, it literally shakes the building. That's how much pressure's in that building, or how much cavitation's going on.
What's the location of this equipment?
Up at Clay Street, the Clay Street Water Tower.
Is it possible, I mean, theoretically, that if it does that, it could bust a pipe when you were trying to fight a fire?
There's a lot of things that could happen. And you got to worry about, too, if the fire department goes out there, and we got the best fire department I know of, so I'm not downplaying them, but if they have somebody that's not trained on that, which we have to go through another training with them anyway, and they go out there and they try and open that fire hydrant up like they open a fire hydrant up in here, that's going to take it's going to draw that tank, that pump station down to 0 PSI, which at that point could do a lot of damage to the pumps, because it's going to automatically want to try and send that much out. It's not going to be able to. So
you need a bid?
we know that because we tried it.
You need a motion, I mean?
Yes, I need a motion to move forward, so I can take it to council and see what they say. So yes, I need a motion from you guys to move it forward.
I'll second that.
So motion,
Not trying to scare anybody here. I'm not trying to make anybody nervous, but it is a concern that we need to stay on top of sooner than later, so.
motion was made and seconded to
Take it to council.
take it to council to get approval to go ahead and finalize the bid?
Finalize them and then move forward. It'll probably take a budget amendment for this year if it goes through this year, because it's not budgeted.
Yeah.
But I'll run that through with
If there's
finance.
such a lead time, there's a chance it might not come till next year anyway.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
So that's just kind of how we have to play, but I'll work with finance on that to see how they want to, how we want to work that out, but,
All right.
okay?
You know what this motion is? You get the motion? I got the motion.
Richardson.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Take it to council. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Good plan. And that's, we don't want to wait, and then,
Oh, yeah, we need to stay
You
on
know,
top of
like-
stuff like that.
Steve said, you break a pipe, and that's even worse.
And I think John might agree, we're working on trying to be more proactive than reactive in the water and wastewater side, and, it's a battle all the time, but
It's kind of like having people come in and checking your air conditioner on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, clean out the, okay. Any other old business, anybody? No old business?
no.
No open discussion? We'll have our next meeting on Tuesday, August 24th. With that, we'll take a motion to
So
adjourn.
move.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. What is their distribution over in Meadow Lake?
No, he contacted us.
It is at
8-inch main line, 8-inch, and then 6-inch stubs come off to the cul-de-sac.
parents.
And then I'm sure it drops somewhere further out to a smaller pipe.
I
That's
had a
usually what they
cousin
do.
that was
But there's fire hydrants that should be these cul-de-sacs, so I can only assume, look at the plans we got, aren't
remember
the
when
best
they used to be, they were
plans.
all the same.
Back then, they didn't make them as pretty as they
And
make
so
them
when
now.
it changed.
It
he
shows
was one of
6-inch
those
going out to